Hi folks, welcome to a Retro Journal. Today is what I call a quick clip, 5 minutes or less, and what you see in front of you is I've got my Mac PowerBook 180 running Mac OS System 7.5, and I've got my QL running in monochrome mode, and it's running ICE. And I do monochrome so you can actually see the full extent of the menu option, which you don't usually get when I put it in color mode, because I can't run it in monitor mode. I have to run it in TV mode in that case. So what I'm working on is I'm doing a full-fledged video on ICE, which is, here's the manual, Icon Control Environment, written by Idersoft. It just to sort of showcase what that can do. So ICE was sort of the third graphical user interface for microcomputers. The Macintosh 128K came out in 1984, built with a built-in graphical interface. And then GEM for the PC came out in February of 1985. And of course, that was also ported to the Atari ST in the June-July of 1985. That's when it came out. And then ICE came out. I pinned the date down because there's a picture in here of the interface, and it has August 10th on here. So likely it came out in late August 1985. And of course, the Amiga came out, Workbench, Amiga 1000 came out with Workbench 1.3 and introduced in July 23rd, but came out sort of sold in September of 1985. So they're both in third place. I put GEM ahead because it came out in early 1985. So it's one of the more rare graphical interfaces because it was really only done for the QL, and obviously the QL didn't last very long. What's unique about it is it came, let me put this here, it came on a ROM cartridge. So 16K, the entire graphical interface. So that makes it relatively fast compared to, I've used the Macintosh 128K, and it was pretty slow trying to load the thing in from floppy. And Amiga 1000 similarly had to load things in from floppy. So this was literally on a ROM cartridge. It took up 16K of ROM, no extra RAM, but it did take about 7K in runtime, as you'll see when I do my video, and about 1K when it was sort of in the background. What's different about ICE from the Mac 128K version, as well as Workbench on the Amiga, is that it's really only a file manager. When you start a program up, it goes away, whereas Workbench has a little bit more integrative features, and especially the Mac OS had the most integrative features. So I'm doing a video on ICE just to give a rundown because people have asked. The one difference with ICE as well is that most QLers didn't really have ICE because it didn't come from the manufacturer. It was an add-on. And of course, it only lasted for a year because then the QL, by the time ICE came out in 85 towards the end, and the QL was already gone at the end of 1986. ICE also comes with a window manager called Choice. That's what this is. This is a backup copy of Choice. And so I kind of want to also do a video on that. So the window manager basically sort of fixes the fact that the QL doesn't sort of keep track of windows, so it just overwrites itself. Whereas Choice will actually do that. It'll make sure that the contents of a window that's swapped out will be refreshed again. So I want to do, if I can, hopefully I can read what's on this, because this is an old cart that has a bad felt. But so that's coming up. And then I think what I want to do a video on in general is to compare 128K Mac graphical operating system with ICE, with maybe the Atari ST's version of GEM, with Amiga's 1000's Workbench 1.3, and just compare and contrast them, showcase what the benefits of each are and their downsides. I think I'm going to avoid Windows 1, which came out at the end of 1985, only because Windows 1 is not really that well done. I think it's colorful, but it doesn't even use icons for the most part, or at least not for file types. It's really more of a glorified command shell. Anyway, that's what I'm working on, and I will see you soon.